Welcome back to this presentation of L3 toolset. Here we have L3 intraday price target centroid wings, and we have L3 rotational oscillator. And what are we doing here is we are trying to curve fit these lines, white lines you see here, to the known pivots with a big bar. You can see a big bar and a big bar. This is 4x3 chart, which is squared 0.4x3, 4x3 per bar. And what do we expect this? Now there are different shapes will show up with different squaring mechanism. This is why we use this rotational oscillator along with these lines to give us the potential directions we want to pick first. So here we are, by inducing this phenomena, we are looking at another lines show up, giving us the directional bias. You can see here we got a very good reflection point. And once you get to this line, we have to look at the oscillator, right? This is rotational oscillator, overbought, oversold. So this is telling us short is going to be very good short starting from here, and you can have this price grid which can give us a precise stop loss of few points, and you can take a big swings. Right here, same thing. As you can see, they are giving us the bias we're looking for. And if you keep this here like this, we can also rotate it and keep these lines on always. Market is now hitting this upper bound line, so you can just see here and look at the oscillator. How these lines, now these lines are way beyond Gann lines. Alright, you can just see how precisely these lines are offering us the bias for reflection. So these are your reflection lines. Okay, so there is one adaptation of this energy point, and these lines rotate after the midnight, right? They shift. So now we can do the same thing here. The other options we have is now this can be also used for timing the market. Let's talk about this. Right now we're talking about the lines acting as price magnets. So here I'm still putting it on the midnight. Excuse me. Apologize. I'm still putting this on the midnight right here. And I'm still following the curve fitting phenomena. All right. So what we did, this was qualified and it was coming from the prior day, pinning on midnight. This is pinning from this day, and we put it right here. And what do we expect? The white line reflection point should also work out on the other side, which is right here. And if you look at the oscillator, it is telling us it has gone way below the two lines for going long. We are interested in finding the swing points. Now we had those prior lines hits also, but you can also see from this we are also getting double hits. Okay, and this point. So we can also do something else, which is beam it forward through the big bars. So for example, this is a big bar. I can use these lines to beam things forward. So there are a lot of things we can do, as I said, with this single tool. We can use it to time the market also, which basically means if I curve fit my historical swings, I know my future swings. Alright, that's all it means. We will talk about it a little later. So giving this, the point we are trying to address here is that there are very beautiful white beams, which is right here, white line beams we call them. So now I'm curve fitting this on this low and this pivot. Our pivots have a very defined definition. This pivot is good pivot because it has a big bar. This pivot is a good pivot because the swing has a big bar, which it does on both sides, right? So anyway, so this side has a swing. So by using this two swing points, why am I using this one? Because I'm also looking at the oscillator. If I look at the oscillator right here, if you see this, we had a low and we had a high, right? So I'm interested in, okay, this low and high is happening. That means it's starting from the low. I'm expecting some high somewhere. All right, that's the whole story, that we are looking for these highs and lows. We are looking for these highs and low swing points. We are just looking for these extreme highs and low swing points like this. Using this oscillation, as you can see, it works very nicely without anything else, but we need to qualify things, right? You can just see all the oscillations are beautifully working. We should not be tempted of using just the oscillator, because there's laws of nature which is holding behind the scenes, and that is what we are after. This is also going like this, right? This is also going like this, looking at the oscillator only. So these highs and lows are coming on these oscillations. So what are we after is, are there very strong energy points which can be used to deflect the ongoing moment, reflection points? So that is the whole story. So I'm curve fitting it here, and I'm curve fitting it here based on the swing point phenomena, and I'm looking for some hits coming on the white line, which is running through this system right here. It goes to this line, it gets reflected, and I'm looking for this to converge with this extreme levels. So it is foolish, really foolish actually, to force trading, right? Unless there's a value. You can trade 3-4 contracts all day long, but try trading 100 contracts, 150 contracts, right? Game changes. So we need to be extremely aware of these points, and there's a war points, there's a lot of points going on here, right? So this is going to give us very strong beams coming from the cosmic rays, white light rays, white beams. That's why we call it centroid swing points, right? They're swinging in the market. That's the story, my friends. There are a lot of implications of this, lots of implications. We can pinpoint the time with this as well. One tool defies the odds. All the future trend lines are known as well. What we have to do is just, as I said, these lines, if I do it from here, look at this. If I do it from here, this line is curving this way. Let's make a point here so we understand. If I make a point from here, it is beaming like this. This is called centroid swing point. Let's look at the tool, right? I know the name is kind of funny, but centroid swings, right? Centroid means there's something in the center. That means there's something on the other side, left side and the right side, right? That's why it is, we need some center. It's not space-time curvature. It is not the quantum vacuum fluctuations we're talking about here, which is hidden source of all truth. The unknown, the knowing comes from the fluctuations of the quantum vibrations. What we call as vacuum fluctuations. 99% of the body which we have been given is fluctuating in vacuum space with infinite energy, my friends. So right here, if I beam it from here, it is moving this way. You can see, right, this line. So if I am projecting something from here, like say if I'm looking at, oh, this is an overbought, oversold situation, the second analysis we can do is look backwards and say, okay, is this really overbought, oversold, a good overbought, oversold? Well, let's put it here. Let's see, this is overbought situation. Put a line there. Put the centroid right there. And see if it is tracing back anything useful in the back. You got that? That's what it is. So if I go back in time, you can see market was getting some good swings here. Good reflections here. Here. It takes a lot of practice to really get it, but so that's why we give a simplest rules first, so you can open up your interactions with these energy points first before you go to the next level, right? That's all there is. All right, so we did something. I think we did this one also. Let's go to this day, right? And we can move it in any direction we like, but we like to move it in some directions where we can get some value. Now if you see here, on this day, there's no white line, dotted lines. They're all moving here, 3 of them. They reflected from here. They bounced on the right side. There's nothing on the left side. Let's watch it again. See? There was a white line was here. Next day, they were here still, and there was one on the top as well. Let's watch, right? So there was here, here, and here, 3. And there's a solid line. All right, no worries. What's happening here? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them coming up here. Okay, they dynamically shift. Very complicated things happening behind the scenes, but main thing is, now this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. They are all converging here, right? So this is overlapping on the red line. See this one, red line, and this red line, and this red line. Okay, so what do we do here when we don't have anything on the left side? Still we start the pinning at midnight. What do we do then? We pin it to the red one. Why? Because remember, this white is reflecting on the red. This is where you will understand this. This is where the swing reflection is. Think about a wingspan of a bird, or a wingspan of a plane, or an angel, right? So this is always a hummingbird. The body is in the center. This is the center. There's wingspans, but there are different kind of wingspans, and you can see right here. Now this is a good placement because we got trapping of energy here and not here, and it has huge 3 big bars trapped beautifully. You can see this was our top earlier, our butt situation. You can see right here, right there. So this is a good placement. What are we expecting here? We're expecting some reflections on these points. When I get to this point of reflection, what do I see? I see oversold. I see overbought at these lines. So this is how it goes. As I said, every tool is just, now where do I put a stop loss? What do I do with this? We can add a price grid here. Okay, let me add that level 3 price grid. So we can add this level 3 rotational price ES grid. Let's analyze this day. So here it is. Okay, so what we say is, what we should do is, let me zoom in for that day, and then I will do Control K to refresh the geometrical settings. Okay, so what's happening here, right? When this is reflecting from these two, I think a little bit of offset up has to happen, but let's do this. You got the idea, right? This is not a perfect science, because if I need to find a 0.001 really good square, like 0.4 through 3, if you spend a lot of time finding the perfect square, this will hit to the tick, all right? But we're not looking for that too much information. So here it is, right? So I am aware that this has reflected from here. I'm looking at a robot oversold situation, and I'm waiting for this beam, come close to the beam. All right, here it is. So where do I stop loss? Where do I enter? Right? These are the last stage questions people ask. So right here, yellow. Okay, yellow and red is what I want to trade. Yellow, red, blue, there are only 3 lines here, right? Nothing much. So once you get there, once you are here, I will start putting my initial contract and see if this is going to hold or it's going to go to the next one. Since everything is telling me this is a high probability because of the rotational oscillator location, energy location, even though the bars look like they're going to just blow out. Look at this. Green, green, green. Huge power. And hit the wall of white line and rotational oscillator. So we're going to take a shot here. We will attempt, let's say I want to take 5 contracts. I will start with 1 and test it out. And I know they may ping somewhere here before they go down, and to be patient, right? Look at this condition. So I do a stop loss. I'm already waiting for this guy. So I put something here, limit. Stop loss is going to be here initially, or maybe a little bit, I give some little bit room personally, and take a shot. And I'm not going the full contract. As I said, I always go with, if I am looking at this huge thing, right, at this point, we don't know what's going to happen. We're looking at this. I say, okay, let's test it out, right? If one contract works, great. If it doesn't work, we know we never want the full contract size anyways, right? We want to see if you want to, since the condition is such, it is going to rotate. Now if this oscillator comes down and it is going sideways, they'll blow up, right? That's the midpoint. So this is what we have been talking about for a while. If the oscillators are trying to pull down the market and is going sideways, right? Let's say it came down here and market is still sitting on the top. That means it's gonna go up. You found the 50% of the swing, not the top. And for that reason, we keep an eye on all these areas and we say probability game. High probability is gonna pin down, as we have seen. 9 times it will work. 10th time you'll get super excited and you will not follow the rules. You'll break your rules and you will get caught. That's what happens. So continue to follow your rules and slowly have a 0 losing days. 0 losing days. Once you have the 0 losing days, you can continue to grow. So this is how you do this. Find those critical inflection points first. We know all these points. So many ways. And here we are. So I hope this helped. Understanding the GAN fans are not really just the GAN fans. They are static, somebody's idea of what they think GAN was doing. Actually, GAN was not doing GAN fan at all. Actually, this is marketing innovation. This is the true energy. Centroid swing points. That's what he was after. And he was using different things to, today we have computers by hand. He had a lot of employees. You'd be surprised what things he did and what he did not do, and he just marketed as well. So here it is, my friends, in front of you. And so this is how you can chase the grid. So I think if this is your scalp stop loss box, right? This should be your 3, 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3. Try to hit 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3. Rest is trade management. You should be able to do effective trade management. Just because you show up for work doesn't mean you're ready to make the trade. Things should align. This is the way. Then life becomes so easy, so does trading. Before we depart, let me talk. Sorry about my interruption and coughing. So we talked about this timing. So see these lines, they are made such a way they don't move as fast as these white lines, right? So what do? We pin this, curve fit it, and once we do it properly, precisely, this one of the other thing white is called centroid, is when these energies converge to the center. Right here, my friends. This is your timer. Right there. See that? Precisely to the bar. Alright, that's how it goes. So we know this. Hey, hold on a second. From this swing, now you have to keep moving this. This doesn't take too much time to move one hot spot, is it? Not much difficulty, right? A few seconds. When it gets vertical. See, it was just dying to get here, to this point in space, centroid, and got deflected. Not only the line was there to deflect it, right? Not only we had the trend line to deflect it, right? And then what else we had? This line, see this white line, 90 degrees. This is a 90 degree right here, all right? And this is another 90 degree. If you think smartly, what's really going on? It's almost 90 degrees. This is also almost 90 degrees. We're doing some dynamic shifts of 90 degree angles, all right? This is where what Gann angles are is nothing to do with Gann. It's some software engineer's imagination of what Gann angles are. They don't know what Gann angles are, actually. There it is. This is cosmic angles. All angles come from cosmic white light angles. Gann is just one snapshot. Somebody figured something out, and why nobody can make it work. But here it is, my friends, pinpointing the price and the time and the oscillation. All three things. What else you need? Direction, time, and price. And we have this phenomena of reflection points. Thank you very much for watching, spending your time to interact with the universe.